are you? How are you? How are you? I usually start with some music to let some people get in the room, but today I'm coming straight out the gate running because Mama has had a very, very long day. So I wanted to get right to it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen on YouTube. I am your favorite pain in the ass from New York, Jen. Okay, you can find me on the Block with Jen on Instagram, on the Block with Jen on TikTok, and on the Block with Jen at Gmail. Quick reminder, if you want to talk to me one-on-one for any reason, okay, go to my About section. There's a link there that says all access. You can book a one-on-one with me for half an hour or an hour. And you're like, why would I want to talk to you? Well, because a lot of people want to talk to me in my DMs for a long length of time. So if you want my attention one-on-one, okay, you can buy a little session with me. You can talk about anything. You can ask me about, branding, marketing, whatever you like that I do, advice. If you want to practice coming out to your parents because you're gay, you don't know how to tell them. If you want to practice coming out to your wife because you're down low and you don't know how to tell her. If you want to break up with your husband, okay? If you want to break up with your boyfriend. If you just want to hang out with me. If you want to know what it's like to have dinner with me, okay? Buy yourself a little session. I'm available for half an hour and an hour. It's all virtual. Of course, if you act the fool, I have to end the call, but it would be a live video call between you and me if you want to speak to me one-on-one, okay? And of course, there is a damn fee because time is money, okay? But just letting you know, a lot of people want to talk to me one-on-one without the eyes and ears of social media. So just letting you guys know that is available. On the Block with Jen at Gmail, feel free to email me with any ideas that you have that you want me to dissect or you want my panel to discuss, okay? So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys here. Happy Friday. I had a very, very long day. Today was a fun day. I had a shoot in the morning for a fitness company. And then I had to go to the gym to keep up the body to work for fitness companies. And now I'm here with you guys. And today's going to be a fun show. It's Friday. We're going to keep it informative, keep it light, and keep it funny, okay? So unless you've been under a rock, mi gente, and let me know if you can hear me, okay, before I continue. What's up, Glenn Lawrence? I see you. Osiris said, where's the Kevin Samuels rally at? Are we still talking about Kevin Samuels? That man is dead and buried. What's up, Angel? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me get a thumbs up. What's up, Reese? We haven't seen you up here in a little while. You may want to talk about this one. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay before I start. Okay, before I start. And today we may get some white tears going since the subject is white tears. Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. What's up, Just Notice? And it's going to be open panel. After I explain to you what the show is going to be about today, it will be an open panel if you want to come up and talk to me about your experiences, okay? Because I'm going to tell you about my experiences regarding this topic, white tears. And do white tears have a limit, okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. Thank you, Osiris. Thank you. Okay, so let's get this party started. Happy motherfucking Friday. So today's episode is about white tears. Do they have a limit, right? Do they have a limit? Now, I thought that they didn't have a limit, okay? I thought it was like carte blanche. I'm a white girl, blonde, blue-eyed. I got these white tears. I can get whatever I want in America. But fast forward, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, or Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, right? Depending on how you look at it, because Johnny Depp did file a defamation suit and Amber Heard, his ex-wife, countersued. And they both kind of won. It's just that Depp won bigger. Depp won $10 million. People said it was 15, but they took it down because there's only so much you can pay for pain and suffering. So 10 million plus. Amber Heard countersued, got herself a little $2 million. Now I say a little $2 million because she owes Johnny Depp 10 million. And apparently, according to her attorney, she's not worth the 10. Okay. Her net worth is nowhere near $10 million. So poor little, white girl with white tears is up shit's creek now. Yeah. They usually have all the privilege in the world, but no. No, not on today. The jury decided in Johnny Depp's behalf. Okay. So Johnny Depp won big, $10 million. He's owed by Amber Heard, and Amber Heard got her little $2 million. Okay. Which is probably going to go in legal fees and all that crap anyway. Right? Okay. So let's talk about white tears, right? Because we hear that a lot. It's like, it's funny. It was like, all right, whatever with your white tears, right? It's usually a Becky or a Karen pretending that her whole world is crumbling because somebody did something to her, right? You know, the white tears. There's two type of white tears, the white tears and what I call the dry white cry. What is the dry white cry? I told you I'm teaching on today, okay? Bringing you into my world. What is the dry white cry? If you remember the case of Amber Geiger and Botham Jean, right? Amber Geiger is the cop that didn't know where her apartment was and walked into Botham Jean's apartment while he was eating ice cream, innocent black man sitting down eating his ice cream. She shot him to death, right? Then she went to trial. Now, the white dry cry is this. You know that thing little kids do when they're spoiled and they want something, but no tears coming out? That's the dry white cry. That's what I call the dry white cry. A lot of actors do it. I can't stand it. As a fellow actor, I can't stand that. I always say, pick another emotion. Pick another emotion, right? Sadness, human beings, right? They think it's synonymous with tears, right? So what bad actors do is, oh my God, I'm sad in this. This is live, baby. What's up, Shrey? Yes, this is live. You know, so what bad actors do is they're like, oh, wow, the script says I'm supposed to be sad here. So sadness, I know, tears. So they do this, right? And they think that crunching up their face and squinting really hard makes them look sad. And now I look sad, right? Everybody, you see me? I'm sad. My face is squinting. So the dry white cry happens a lot in court, or it happens a lot when some white person is full of shit and they want you to think that they're feeling this emotion, right? It's very interesting. You know me, I'm always observing, okay? I dissect things and people and behavior. And it's a cry where it's like your face is crunched up, but there are no tears coming out. That's the dry white cry. So we've seen Amber Geiger do that on trial. We've also seen Kyle Rittenhouse do that. Ooh, baby boy had his face so twisted up, okay? It looked like a pretzel, no tears, but he was here with it, right? That's a dry white cry. You see it a lot in court. You see it a lot when a white woman's trying to get you in trouble. And I'm going to speak about my personal experience with white tears, okay? Because if you're a person of color in this country, you've probably been a victim of the white cry once or twice, or hopefully never. Hopefully, if you haven't, hope you never do, right? We're keeping it real here. We could talk, right? We're all friends. I got white friends in the chat. I got white friends coming up on the panel. We could talk. We could keep it real, right? Race is a thing in America. Let's not pretend it's not. And race is also very influential. So let's not pretend it's not, okay? But there's going to be a light show. You know, I'm going to give it to you raw. Okay, so Kyle Rittenhouse, again, also did that white cry. I see white people do it a lot in court because they don't have emotion or remorse. So it's like, I'll twist my face up and they'll think I'm sad. I have remorse. Yeah, right? People that do that, cry without tears, are weird to me. Sorry, it's cringe. It's fucking weird. So let me give you my experience of the white tears and how a Becky Karen tried to get me. You guys in the chat, let me know if you've experienced anything like this. And then we'll get into do white tears have a limit regarding Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. And I'm going to give you the reason when and where they have a limit. It's going to be interesting. So my experience with white tears, right, didn't even include tears at all. I was on a panel for a talk show. They were testing different people for the talk show. There were like 6 or 7 personalities on the panel from all different places. There was Asian, Black, white, me, Latina. And we were all on the, I'm just making sure nobody's texting me and telling me that my sound is off, because I know you guys are my heroes and you do let me know when my sound is off. I hate it when I tell somebody that I'm doing something. And okay, so sorry guys. Okay, so my experience, panel, a test for an upcoming talk show, 6 or 7 people on the panel. You know, they were throwing different topics at us. So we were, you know, going over the different topics and seeing if we had chemistry, right? Seeing who had chemistry on the panel. There was a white woman there, okay? Quintessential blonde, blue-eyed, big tits, right? Quintessential white woman that we see on TV. And so some of the topics got kind of heated or whatever, and she felt it was okay to call me out of my name. Now, when I say call me out of my name, I mean anything that is not my name. I don't just mean curse words or bad words. Respectfully, if I just meet you and we're just talking, whether it's for work or casually, just call me by my name. I will never not call you out of your name if you don't call me out of my name. That's how I do. You know how I like to reciprocate. So this woman, she was giving me, I'm the tough white woman here. I'm the one with the privilege. And whether white people know it or not, they walk, even the nice white people, they walk around with a privilege. If you nudge them enough, they will let you know, I am white in America. Okay, they will let you know. It just takes a little nudge half the time, right? Even if they act like they're down with the coloreds, right? Takes a little nudge and they'll let you know, hey, I was born and raised knowing I am white in America. Okay, and we are preferred here, right? They'll let you know in some way, shape, or form. We can't help it. Okay, who we are, how we're raised, we cannot help it. Even as straight laced as you want to be, you go back to your roots and your culture, right? For my reggae fan, roots and culture. So this white woman is on the panel. She proceeds to hit me with the baby and the sweetie. Well, no, baby, I don't think, but, and I was like, hey, call me by my name. You can call me Jen. Okay, I will call you Laura. And I don't remember this trollop's name, but I'll just say Laura, right? I was like, call me by my name, and I'll call you Laura. Okay. She was like, well, oh my God. Well, I'm just saying baby because I call everybody baby. And I'm like, that's great. I want you to call me Jen. We don't really know each other like that. We don't have a rapport. Okay. So just call me Jen. It's cool. Jen, Laura. Jen, Laura. That is how we were introduced to the panel. So she was like, I don't believe this. So then she proceeds to tell the person that was conducting the panel, wait a minute. We have to pause this. Wait a minute. You said this was going to be a safe space. You said this was going to be a safe space. I don't feel safe. So I'm like, what in the Emmett Till is fucking going on here? What is going on here? I told this trollop simply, respectfully, hey, my name is Jen. We don't know each other like that. Jen will suffice. I don't need you to call me baby or sweetie. Just Jen is cool. Jen is cool. Laura, Jen. Laura, Jen, like Sesame Street, okay? I thought this was going to be a safe space. So that is a form of white tears, okay? That's a form of white tears. I am going to, and it's been happening since the plantation. I'm going to show you that I have power here. And all I have to do is tell people I feel threatened. And people are going to come to my rescue. I don't have to feel threatened. I just have to not like you. And all I have to do is throw on some white tears. Like, I don't feel safe here. Now, mind you, we're on a panel, all on our laptops. How unsafe do you feel on a laptop, on a panel, where I haven't threatened you? I haven't said I know where you live. I haven't said I can dox you. I haven't said, hey, we work out in the same place. I know who your mama is, right? So how threatened can someone feel by me just saying, hey, just call me Jen? We don't know each other, baby, sweetie, all of it. Not necessary, Laura. I'll call you by your name. You call me by my name, right? But she decided to tell the that was fucking weird. Sorry, guys. That was weird. I don't know if you lost me visually. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Because my screen went dark, so I don't know if my laptop is hot, but I got the new one, so it shouldn't be hot. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, por favor. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I'm gonna open up the panel in a minute. So thank you, Ish. All right, so here I am sitting. Now, mind you, when a white woman says in any room that she feels unsafe and she's talking about a person of color, It can be a very dangerous situation. I'm talking about real life situation. Okay, I'm not talking about a Becky or Karen that got ruffled by the Latina on a panel. I'm talking about a real life situation. This is real life. If her and I were in person at the supermarket and cops come on the scene and she starts yelling, I don't feel safe. She threatened me. I don't feel safe here. Help. As soon as they come in, we all know what would happen, right? Automatically, well, you're the Latin with the big earrings. You must be the one that started the trouble, right? Now, will that happen 100 times out of the times? No. Will it happen 95? Probably, right? Because we live in this country and that is the environment that we live in, right? I'm not crying you a river here. I'm just saying it is what it is. So let's not pretend it's not. Let's just call a thing, right? So those situations can be very, very dangerous for people of color. And I knew what she was doing. And why did she do it? Because she knows the effect that has on people. If she is blonde, blue-eyed, and white, all she has to do is say, that colored made me feel unsafe. And what are you guys going to do about it? Right? And not only white people will come to her defense, but even people of color, because it's like, don't you mess with those good white folk. Don't you stop no trouble here, right? You even get that from some people of color. Hence, Amber Geiger killed Botham Jean, and she had the black judge hugging on her. She had Botham Jean's brother hugging on her. She had, who's black, she had the black bailiff consoling her and playing with her hair in court. We all remember these images. They were hideous. They were despicable. We all remember these images. So you have to be very careful and put your foot down with these fake white tears and these dry white cries. No matter what, you have to stand your ground, right? We know the history of the white tears and what can happen to one of us if some authorities come on the scene and the white person is saying, I don't feel safe. She made me feel unsafe. And it's the language that she chose to use. She didn't say like, oh, this woman has an attitude. Oh, I don't like her disposition, but I don't know why, because I was being very pleasant. You guys know if I wasn't being pleasant, I would say, yeah, I was telling that bitch to go fuck herself, because you know that's how I am. But I was being very pleasant because it was a very professional, okay, atmosphere. It was a read for a panel for a possible talk show, okay, very professional, very polite, okay. So she knows all she had to do was say, I don't feel safe. So watch the language. Watch the language, okay? I don't feel safe, okay? Those are words that they use. They were taught to use. They know other people use them. And some of it is just innate. Nobody taught them bitches shit. It's just innate because they grow up in a white world in America where they're preferred, right? Where they're the standard, right? Where they're the, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm free white and 21. Google that. I'm not going to explain it. It's too long. But Google free white and 21, okay? That's a whole other show. Okay, so going back to, and you guys, I'm gonna open the panel, or you can tell me in the chat if you've experienced this as well, something like the experience I just gave. So going back to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, do white tears have a limit? Okay. Yes. Yes, they do. Short answer. And we saw that with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, right? Now, although Amber Heard was on the stand giving her best fake dry white cry, okay, they still said, no, you got to pay Johnny this money. So when is the white tear null and void for a white woman? You ready? Because I got the answer. And this is a warning to all white women. All right? Your white tears are not unlimited. So when are the white tears null and void? The white tears, white women, are null and void when white women, listen to me carefully, when white women are against you, when white women like the person you're trying to get in trouble more than they like you, okay? Johnny Depp happens to have bajillions of fans who are white women. And although in any other case, if Amber Heard had a case against Morris Chestnut, in any other case, those white women would have been outside protesting, okay, against Morris Chestnut. No, no, no. You were up against Johnny Depp, All American, Edward Scissorhands, okay, Jack Sparrow, okay, 21 Jump Street, Johnny Depp. So there was no fake white tear that Amber Heard was going to shed that was going to save her white ass on that stand. Sorry. So that is the limit to white tears. That is when white tears can very much be null and void. When the white tear is going up against a white man, okay, who's liked way more than you. Aside from that, she would have had a slew of white women out there with their pink pussycat hats and, yelling feminism and how dare they do this to us, blah, blah. So speaking of do this to us, as you guys know, the hashtag Me Too started getting thrown in the case, right? For those of you who don't know, been under a rock, hashtag Me Too was founded by Tarana Burke, a Black woman. It wasn't Alyssa Milano, okay? And the cherry-picked white actresses of Hollywood that didn't like a Harvey Weinstein or were violated by Harvey Weinstein. They didn't, it wasn't their shit. Tarana Burke founded it specifically for disenfranchised women of color who were suffering from sexual assaults, sexual harassment, unfair treatment, okay? And then it was co-opted by Alyssa Milano and white Hollywood. And it's like what Harvey Weinstein did to me and hashtag Me Too. And then it blew up because, white actresses were talking about it on Twitter, right? Somewhere, somehow, Tarana Burke got lost in that sauce, even though she founded it. But now, thankfully, with social media and so many people giving Tarana Burke her props, we know who founded hashtag Me Too. So in the case of Amber Heard, they were saying, oh, this is going to be the death of Me Too because Amber Heard lost. So is this the death of Me Too? No one's going to believe women anymore. This is the death of Me Too. And Tarana Burke said, nothing's going to kill Me Too. First of all, I started it. Second of all, Me Too doesn't live or die on what happens to some white actress. Okay. Third of all, the case between Amber and Johnny Depp is very, very, very different. Okay. From the cases that Tarana Burke started the Me Too movement for anyway. Okay. No matter what side you're on, we can all agree Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were just two toxic motherfuckers, two toxic drug addict motherfuckers who got together, okay? And somebody lost a fight that one time. Because if you listen to these weirdo recordings, they're constantly fighting each other. She's recording him, he's recording her, like two weirdos. Like they had their own private little reality show, right? With just no video, audio. She's recording him, he's recording her, she's shitting in his bed, he's pushing her around the kitchen. Just too toxic. All that was missing was the meth. All that was missing was the meth. But if you roll up to any trailer park in America, you will find an Amber Heard and a Johnny Depp. It's just that these guys had money. It's just Johnny got money and Amber got money. But they were basically your run-of-the-mill trailer park trash couple, except they had money. It happens. It happens. But neither one of them, in my opinion, were innocent. They were in this toxic, situation. And what's curious is that both of them, Johnny and Amber, had really good relationships, okay, outside of each other. Outside of each other. So if you ask me, it was tornado meeting volcano, narcissist and narcissist. And it was a hell of a tug of war, right? So Tarana Burke was like, Me Too ain't dying with no Amber Heard. That's a whole different situation. But because the Me Too movement was co-opted, adopted, kidnapped, or taken, right, from the whole Tarana Burke movement, people thought, well, wait a minute. If white women started it, which they did not, a white woman just lost real big. Does that mean Me Too dies with her? No. Tarana Burke was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So, you know, to get into a little bit how they did have successful relationships, you guys may not know, Amber Heard used to be Elon Musk's girlfriend. The plot thickens. Amber Heard, you heard correctly, was Elon Musk's girlfriend. That Elon Musk. They broke up because they were traveling a lot. They were too busy to see each other, but Elon Musk, out his own mouth, very, very fond of Amber Heard. Now, I don't know about y'all, but Amber better send that "Hey Big Head" text real quick. Okay? Because when they broke up, Elon Musk was still very, very fond of her. And he was like, I hate that we broke up, but she was always shooting. I was busy over here. It was hard for us to see each other. I'm brokenhearted. So it's time Amber sends that big head text, right? Seeing as she owes somebody $10 million she doesn't have, maybe he'll hook up. Never know, never know. Hey, big head, you know them texts. Don't look at me like that. Y'all know y'all be sending them texts when you up Schitt's Creek. Anyway, so yes, it turns out that Elon Musk was very much in love. What happened when she got with Johnny Depp? I don't know. I really feel like she had no respect for Johnny Depp, but was with him anyway, and then resented him and decided to show her ass throughout the relationship, which women do a lot. Like, women will get with somebody, and then it's like, hey, I like you in the beginning, or maybe I don't, or maybe there's an ulterior motive, and now you're in that relationship. You're like, oh, if I can resent this guy, I hate how he walks, he talks. And that came out in the trial. She was like, he was just some old guy playing guitar with his other old friends who played guitar. That sounds like somebody that doesn't really like somebody, but now they're in this fucking relationship, but they don't really like them as a person. So a lot of that testimony came out during the trial. Like, Amber Heard sounded like, I don't really like this motherfucker, but he's Johnny Depp and he's richer than God. So I'm just going to stick here, right? Yeah, she needs to get back with Elon Musk. So that's what happened during the trial. It just came out like, okay, this lady doesn't really like this guy. Took advantage of him. Her whole family and all her friends were living in his condos. So, there were perks to being Johnny Depp's girlfriend. And she got to keep like a condo or a range or whatever, what have you. So, in my opinion, hey, big head to Elon Musk. But it's interesting that apparently she was respecting Elon Musk, or maybe Elon Musk was more her type because there was no beef there. There was no drama there. And when they broke up, it was him who said, wow, I would have been with her, but we had separate lives that kept us apart. So I find that very, very interesting. So just to stay on topic, going back to the white tears, do they have a limit? Guilty, guilty, guilty. Yes, they do. Long as white people are not backing you. So I still say you have to be very, very, very careful with those white tears and the language that they use versus people of color whenever they get a little ruffled. And I don't even think white people really get ruffled. I just think they know that saying that they're afraid of you, specifically afraid of a person of color, they know it moves people. Like, you're going to arrest them, right? Like, look how he's treating me. It doesn't even have to be real. Just like the panel I was on when the lady was like, oh, you said this was going to be a safe space. So just because I was there on the panel telling her, hey, bitch, just call me Jen. I'll call you Laura. You call me Jen. She felt unsafe. And that is what they do. So white tears do have a limit, long as other white people aren't going along with those white tears, and other black people aren't going along with those white tears. Okay, because a lot of us color folk got plantation residue in our veins, and we feel sorry sometimes for these people with the fake white cry and the fake white tears. Got to be very, very careful. Now, what's up, my whiteys? Hey, right? I have plenty of friends who are white, and they even know about the white cry and the fake white cried no tears. Okay, they even know. What I do like about my white folk friends, they some good folk. Ain't they some good folk? What I do like about but the white friends I choose to hang out with and work with and what have you, is that they're not like, you know, these fluffy marshmallow type of people. Okay, I don't like those type of people around me. I don't like not only white people but any type of people around me that are easily ruffled and get nervous and I don't like those people. So, you know, the white people I like to be around are hecho y derecho. They're not easily offended. I could tell them they can't dance, they can't jump, they can't fuck, they're pasty, they're, you know what I mean? They're thin lips and they're pointed noses and they're like, yeah, whatever. And they'll throw a joke back at me. Those are the people that I hang with. I don't know what kind of white folks you're around or if you're around them at all. And not that I say you got to have white friends. If you never want to have a white friend in your life, that's great too. To each its own. You know, there's a white supremacist who, getting deep here, there's a white supremacist, what does what even mean? A person of color? Google it. You know, there's a white supremacist that says he doesn't believe in the America's melting pot. He thinks it was a marketing sham. And, you know, throughout history, all tribes have stuck to their own kind. And I believe that is the best way to get happiness in life, just sticking to your own tribe. Now, some people may say, hey, that's racist, and people should interracially date and have colorful babies, and we all get along here. It's a melting pot. I think that's caused a lot of destruction personally. The ideal world to me would be everybody sticking to their own tribes, right? There's always conflict when people intermingle, right? So of course there's conflict within tribes, but not as much when people start to mingling. Okay. So, you know, he's a white supremacist, but listen, everybody's right. A broken clock is right twice a day. And that's one point. And yes, I listen to everybody. I listen to Candace Owens. I listen to everybody. I listen to white supremacists because I just like to hear how people think, right? I'm not this type of person that says, oh my God, I can't listen. The only people I can't listen to are people that are lying on rotation because they're just annoying. And I'm like, do not fuck with my intelligence. Those are the only people I cannot listen to, like a narcissist that believes his own lies or is just trying to trigger people. I can't listen to them for long. So I can't sit and watch a whole hour of Monique or some of the clowns that are on YouTube. But I will listen to everybody. I'm very curious. I follow certain people and people are like, oh, why you follow this person on Instagram? They're racist. Why you follow this person? Because I just like to hear what people are saying and what they think, right? I'm not personally injured by somebody saying, well, I don't like Latins. Oh, okay. What the fuck does that have to do with me? Have a nice day, sir. Have a nice day, ma'am. I don't give a fuck what you like or don't like. I personally don't like certain people in certain races, certain people in my own ethnicity. So I'm not one of those people. And I'm hoping that you continuously hearing me saying that you become the type of person that's not easily triggered, because it wastes a lot of time and it's just dumb. If a white person is like, I don't like black people, I don't like that. Okay, so the fuck what? What do you want me to do with that information? I gotta go get my groceries. Okay. And I'm hoping that you guys can elevate to that. Stop being so fucking easily fucking triggered by people. So this white supremacist, I thought he had a great point where everybody should stick to themselves. In America, you know, blew smoke up everybody's ass. Like, this is the melting pot. Everybody's supposed to get along here and kumbaya and everybody hold hands. I think it's BS too. I agree with them. I think it's a lot of BS too. And plus it's never even. Right? It's never even when we intermingle. There's always some, no, I'm white. No, I'm, you know what I mean? It's never even anyway. So I do think it's a farce. I do think it's the kumbaya is a farce. So just Google it. Just Google person of color. It's not that hard. All right, guys. So I am going to, yes, Jabari, great points. You have to be friends with people you enjoy. Absolutely. So I'm going to drop the link. You guys come up and tell me what you think about, first and foremost, the white tears, okay? The fake white cry on the stand. And were you surprised that Amber Heard lost? This is a lily white, blonde, blue-eyed woman in America. Are you surprised that she lost? Because usually coming into court, okay, with those aesthetics, it's a win, right? If I had a fight with a chick that looked like that, and we both walked in the court, she's walking in with a win already, right? That's America. All right, guys. So I'm dropping the link. You guys can cam up with me for a little while, for a little bit. I will scroll through your comments. I'm sure you guys are saying some very interesting things. And if you've had an experience with white tears where you felt like, yo, I'm really about to get my ass handed to me, or I'm about to get arrested, or I'm about to get beat up, or I'm about to get in trouble because this lady is saying she feels unsafe, you guys let me know if you've experienced that at all. Okay. And if I have any ladies in the chat, because Tristan is like, sausage party inbound. If I have any ladies in the chat, feel free to come up so it's not a sausage fest. I don't know if this is a woman or a man. I'm up, though. Race ain't even real. That is correct, right? It's a social construct or whatever. Race is not real. It's not real, but it is very real here in reality. There's the America and the world that we want where race isn't real. But here, it's very real. That is why they ask you on applications. That is why when someone commits a crime, they say, what race were they? Okay. That is why when you tell your parents, I have a boyfriend or girlfriend, who, from where, what race are they? So race is not real, but it's real. So we have to deal with what is. Now, of course, I can say, well, scientifically, there's no such thing as race. And they made that up to separate us. And you know what I mean? Keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Yeah, I can say that. We can dissect that. We can break that down. But unfortunately, race is real here. We are judged by race. We are asked about our race, mixed race people. It is what it is. And that's what I'm dealing with. All right, guys. So I'm going to let up some of my guests. We got the hi, Glenn Lawrence.
What's going on?
Glenn was telling me to squat 500 pounds today. The nerve, okay? The nerve.
I said, let me know when you do, because then you'll be on my level.
Give me a chance, Glenn. Give me a chance. Glenn is a beast in the gym, okay? I'm like, give me a chance. We got one of our faves, Haran DeMarco. We got Jabari Bryant, who's
in
the science.
Haran got that same goal too, though. He's trying to get to 500 on the squat too. So don't worry, you're not the only one.
I didn't say I was trying to get there. I didn't even tell you how much I squat. So we didn't even get do there. That. We didn't even have that discussion. You know what? I got something for you, man. I got something for you, man.
Stop the press. We have a lady backstage. I wish I had like a bell. This is where I need the flex bombs. Like, we have a lady finally coming up. Please give her a warm welcome, sausages. Hello, Coco.
Oh, snap, Coco. What's popping?
You're welcome.
Welcome to On the Block with Jan. All right, guys, whoever wants to cam up, I'll drop the link one more time. But let me talk to these esteemed guests about the topic today. I'm sure you heard my spiel already. I'm actually very excited that there is a lady on the panel. So, gentlemen, if you don't mind, I would like for her to go first. And then you guys are always here, so you can follow up.
Absolutely.
Welcome, yeah. Coco. How are you?
Go ahead and let that white women privilege.
Let her speak. Okay? Shh.
First of all, you know that I am not white. I am Costa Rican and Italian, so shut up.
Take that.
That's all I gotta say. Hi, it's a pleasure to be on your show. My thought process on it is that I was flabbergasted by her fake tears and the fact that all this evidence, even the audio and everything against her, was literally just throwing everything that she was saying out the window. I in full disclosure, I am actually a person who has actually been a victim of domestic violence 3 times over in all forms, physical, mental, and emotional. And I actually had gone to court. Like, people would mistake me, yes, looking at me originally thinking, oh, she's a white girl. Whatever you want to call me, but I know what I am. My family is from Costa Rica, so like that is my main nationality. But I had actually, all of those other cases, I never actually reported them because I'm like, nothing's gonna happen because nobody's gonna believe me because there are too many women out there who have actually defamed what a woman's actual word of honesty is. So I'm like, there's no point. And when this one incident had happened to me, this guy literally kidnapped me, kept me in his house, and tried to sexually assault me, and then I eventually got away. My old best friend at the time convinced me to actually go to the police. He's like, you need to because think of everybody else that you would be saving that may go through this. Mm-hmm. And I did, and I was honest, and I lost because why? He had a way better lawyer than I did. No matter all the witnesses that I had, his lawyer had a good way of trying to twist things, and it doesn't matter. So what Amber Heard did for the people and the women that have actually gone through this, she has made it more difficult for them to actually, for people that have, women that have gone through this, to actually have their voice heard and actually take it for honesty. And that is my opinion on it. And I agree with you. They were both toxic. They were not a good mix because they were both toxic. And when you have two toxic people together, it's bound to explode. And they feed off of each other's energy and negativity. And that's only going to lead for disaster.
Yeah, definitely a volcano tornado, like I said, because Elon Musk, adores her. So I'm gonna push back on your point a little bit because you said that you felt like they wouldn't believe you because other women have, made false accusations, what have you. I just want to make it clear that, in this country, women are just not believed in general. Without even a woman coming forward, as we know, the rumors are true. If you get sexually assaulted, well, what were you wearing? Did you go to his house? What time were you there? Do you know this guy? Are you sure you didn't tell him yes with your eyes? That's always been the case in general with women. We get violated by the man, and then we get violated by the system. We get violated by the police department. Now, of course, a woman coming out and saying, hey, he assaulted me and he didn't, makes women look bad. But let's be clear, the odds were already against us. Imagine a woman being sexually assaulted, walking into a precinct, the sergeant, the cops, all men, right? The detective, all men. And they're kind of like, yeah, okay. And men stick together. Men stick together. So they want, and don't be attractive. Don't be attractive because that's a trigger for a lot of guys. So the questions come out. What were you wearing? What was she wearing? Women get attacked viciously when they come out and tell their story. So we were already there before the Amber Heards. Like we were already there. But most of all, when it's a celebrity being accused. If that guy is popular, a la R. Kelly, a la Bill Cosby, a la Johnny Depp, okay? If that guy is popular, can you imagine a woman coming out and saying someone like Brad Pitt sexually assaulted her? Before they even hear the story, Brad Pitt is so attractive and so popular, they will make her all kinds of hoes and sluts before she even opens her mouth. That is the country that we live in.
I'd have to say I agree because those are the exact things that they tried to say to me in court. What were you wearing that evening? I was wearing gym clothes. Nothing attractive, nothing pretty. I was like, no, like they tried to do exactly what you said to try to make it look like I was in a way enticing him to kidnap me and to sexually assault me.
And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that you went through that, Coco, and thank you for sharing that because it's not easy to share that in a room full of men and in public. And I just want to say really quickly for anyone watching, maybe no one has told you this. If you've ever been in a situation where you've been sexually assaulted or harassed, it had nothing whatsoever to do with what you were wearing or what time you were wherever. I don't care if you're buck naked. People can say, well, don't be buck naked. You do not touch or violate somebody, regardless of what they're wearing, how big or small their chest or their ass is. You do not do it. So whether you're a young lady, an older woman, or a grandma, it was not your fucking fault. I cannot say that enough. I don't care what anybody says. It was not your fault. I don't care if your mother is telling you, well, you shouldn't have been dating him. It is not your fault. But I digress. Gentlemen, who wants to take it next? Right up the ass. I'm giving it right up the ass. Who wants to take it next?
Well, first of all, I just want to say one thing, man. Our boy Johnny brought on the W. I'm happy about that when it happened. It was looking a little shaky for a minute, but
now why were you happy?
I was happy about that because I'm not absolving him of his own toxicity. I was upset over the fact that a tape was played of this woman actually harming him, admitting to it, and saying that no one's going to believe you, essentially, because you're a guy and I'm a girl. That was peak toxic white feminism. And he decided, based on that he wasn't going to accept that. He was going to fight back after he lost the initial case, which was done by a biased judge in the UK, and this is proven. She was the judge was essentially on her side, and he wanted a situation where the playing field was a little bit more fair. And when he was able to really bring his story to the table, I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple of things about Johnny Depp I found out about I really didn't need to know. There's a couple of things I found out about her I didn't need to know. I thought her shitting the bed was just a figure of speech that people were talking about. When I found out they actually shit in the bed, I was like, oh, nah, Jesus Christ. Like, first of all, my thing is like,
I've been mad, never that mad.
Like, first of all, I'm looking at Johnny like, man, you didn't get rid of her after that? Like, how do you let someone shit in your bed and y'all just continue the relationship after that? Like, what, y'all went to play laser tag after that to smooth things over? I don't know. But anyway, maybe they were just they were just going through their own toxic thing. But anyway, the overall point here is that I think that at the end of the day, this was really a call to the fact that, yes, we can acknowledge that women go through abuse, but that they don't have a pattern on that in relationships. Men, they might not go through physical abuse in relationships, but men go through financial abuse in relationships. Men go through emotional abuse in relationships, and also mental abuse. And a lot of times we don't say anything because as men, we're told to keep quiet. And if you say something, you snitch, you're not a real man. A lot of times, and a lot of times you see a lot of men, they might commit suicide and nobody knows what happens. He might have been going through some real stuff in his relationships, in his marriage, and so on and so forth. So in, him winning, from my perspective, it opens the conversation to, okay, men can also be abused.
Well, I like that it opens the conversation of, a woman lying on a man. But there's a flip side to it where men are going to champion this in a very negative way, where they already have women pegged in a very negative way. Like, I wish there was balance. I wish it was as nice as, hey, she lied on him, he won, that's great. Women do lie on men. But what happens with men in these spaces, as you know, they run with it, right? And then they start throwing it on women that don't deserve it. They make blanket statements, and it becomes a general situation. And you see how women are? We can't ever leave it to Amber Heard, right? That is the problem. And the reason why that worries me is because men have the power. You guys are stronger. You guys are more, visible in government and lawmaking. Like, men rule the roost, they rule the world. So the way men go, or what men say, it's how it's going to be, despite Johnny Depp, the superstar, getting lied on by Amber Heard. When I hear, well, gosh, he didn't leave her after she shit in the bed. But, I also heard the text messages. He sent a text that he said, before he married her, let's burn her, and I'm going to fuck her burnt dead corpse to make sure she's dead. So I have a hard time feeling sorry for a man who talks like that about a woman. And this is before he married her. So he said that is who Johnny Depp is. Let's be clear. Okay. And then he married her. So why would a man that would say that about a woman, any woman, let alone a woman he was in a relationship with, why would shit in a bed bother him? Think about that. Why would shit in a bed bother a man that said, let's burn her and I'm going to fuck her burnt dead corpse to make sure she's dead? That's why Johnny didn't leave, because that is how he thinks. Why would he leave? Why would shit bother him if he's willing to fuck a burnt dead corpse? So when I look at them too, they were both toxic as fuck. But the only thing I will agree with is that, yes, what she said in that news article made him lose money at work. That's the only thing I agree with. Yes, what he said in that news article, because it's a defamation case, it's not my personal feelings. I got to take my personal feelings out of it. What he said was, she made me lose Pirates of the Caribbean money and some Disney money because she said I abused her. That's a fact. That is a fact. So I'm glad he won too. It is justice. But I don't feel sorry for him because he's just as despicable as she is. And we found that out during the trial. So when I hear that, oh my gosh, she took a shit in his bed. Yeah, but it's Johnny Depp. Glenn?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. If you have earmuffs and your feelings get frazzled really quickly, this is not that part for you to listen to. I really don't. This is like, I'm going to base this on principle. Okay, we're going to talk principle here. All right, she maliciously defamed him. All right, and she got exactly what she deserved. All right, she got exactly what she deserved. She was found out to be a liar, and this is where I would say it does take a step back for the whole "believe all women" slogan that we hear and hashtag. We hear senators say "believe all women." Well, there was a woman that for 4 years people believed and found out to be a liar on the stand, and broad daylight for everybody to see. So that slogan of "believe all women" has to be retracted and go back to let's trust but verify. Just like the normal process should always be, is trust but verify. Now, back to white tears. I really don't give a fuck about anybody's tears. You can cry all you want. Like, I really don't care. Like, I mean, I don't care what shade of tear you have. If it doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me. You can cry me a river. It just doesn't faze me if I don't believe it's right. I think because you got a lot of guys like, hell yeah, now we could like take women to the witch hunt trial and start burning them and whatever because of this. No, all this did was set Lady Justice is supposed to be blind. She's supposed to be blind to color, race, creed, sexuality, whatever. It's supposed to be based on facts. And that's exactly what this trial actually did, is it based the defamation case on facts. And yeah, that was a good win for Lady Justice in the sense of she wasn't judging based off of popular media, demand. It wasn't because of Johnny or it wasn't because of this. It was because of the facts of the case proved that she maliciously, intentionally said what she did in the op-eds to defame him out of malice, out of malicious intent. So because of that, she lost. And that's exactly how it should have been.
Okay.
May I interject a little?
Yeah, Jabari, I was going to you next. I just want to welcome Brother Ish. What's up? I muted you because there was an echo when you came in.
Oh no, I apologize for that.
No, not you, Jabari. Ish.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, Jabari.
Yeah, I'm not as, I could care less about Johnny Depp, and even less. Well, I could not care less about Johnny Depp unless he were Amber Heard. I really don't care about these people at all. I do think I disagree a little in that this wasn't just about justice. There was a whole army of hashtag Johnny, hashtag Amber. We just saw a case in DC with overwhelming evidence and jury nullification. It's not about justice. It's still about popularity. And Johnny was more popular than Amber. And, you know, I'm a lot more apprehensive, because I actually went back and read a little bit about this because you couldn't get around it because it was every freaking where. And the merits of the case were pretty clear from early on in the case, but they still felt it necessary to award both of them money.
Yeah, they sure did.
To me, that's problematic. And I have to push back a little bit against what you were saying, Jen. A little bit. And here's why. Latina and Black women, and you catch it because you're both, are the least believed when it comes to making an accusation. But the most believed when an accusation is made against them are Black men and Latino men, especially Black men, historically in this country. And I'm always apprehensive when I hear believe the woman or believe her, because most of the race riots in this country were the result of believe her. If you go through the history in this country from Oklahoma City to Atlanta to, all over the nation. I mean, pre-1960s, that was the nature of almost every race riot. A false accusation followed by the massacre of, people that were Black or Latino, mostly Black or Asian. It did happen a few times with Asians in California as well. So you have to be careful with that. But I always have a large degree of understanding with Black and Latino women because they're not believed, because they really aren't believed. But I also, when I talk to my niece, especially, we had this conversation. Black men aren't believed when they try to defend themselves. And I think we have to have a degree of grace and understanding for each other because of that, because both genders in those two groups specifically have been over-sexualized by our culture, and it's been historical. And we've had people in our culture in the last, I would argue, 25, 30 years that have really set us back in that regard and have made it, have taken us back to a place where we're only viewed in that perspective. To answer the question, and I apologize for rambling, I have a tendency.
You're good.
When a white woman accuses someone, if Johnny Depp was Denzel, I think it would have been different. I'll put it that way. I think that it's a lot easier for an Amber Heard to accuse. It's a lot easier for a Johnny Depp to be accused and get off than a Morris Chestnut or a Ving Rhames or a John Leguizamo, George Lopez. It's a lot easier to say, oh, Johnny Depp wouldn't do that, than to say these other people wouldn't. And I think we really have to be careful of how we view these types of judgments with two megastars, one megastar and a rising star in Hollywood. I think we have to be very careful of how we look at these judgments in these court cases. Hugh Hefner died without a credible accusation, and it was known in Hollywood what happened. We talk about a lot of the stuff with Bill Cosby. A lot of those accusations were based on things that happened at the Playboy Mansion. It was a cesspool. But certain people can get away with things that other people can't. Certain people can make accusations and be believed when other people can't. And I think we have to take the case for what it is as an individual case and not make broader comments on society or advancements or setbacks in the culture, because you should never just believe a woman the same way you should just never believe a man when he says it wasn't true. So that's my position on that. And like I said, it's a small pushback against both of you. It's not a disagreement with what you guys said. It really is just a pushback and a caveat to the positions that you both offered.
I just want to say one thing in support of definitely what Jabari is saying. But one thing I also want to note is that I think I spoke to you, Jen, about it. When I read a particular article saying that, is this the end of the Me Too movement? I felt that it was one of the most arrogant statements I've ever seen in my life. And it was a clear example of white female privilege. And far too often in our country, white people and white women in particular have been allowed to be its moral compass. So my point being that if what happened to Amber Heard means that it's the end of the Me Too movement, are we going to ignore the the tons and tons of women of color who have faced sexual assault? And I've often said many times, I think maybe I've even said it on this panel, you know, feminism in America is a white owned institution. And we have to really understand that, you know, other races of women, even though they try to latch onto it and they might buy into the concept of intersectionality, a lot of these things are just temporary ideas and constructs and are just based on the convenience of white women.
Well, I co-sign that, because I do think it was very arrogant. You can't just take somebody's entire movement because it didn't work out for you and say, oh, it's dead now. What does this mean for the Me Too movement? It doesn't mean anything. The Me Too movement is long and strong and is going to continue the way it was founded by Tarana Burke. So I have to agree with you. Brother Ish, you've been listening.
I have.
What say you?
Well, I would say this. So on one point, not the first point, but on one point in relationship to the "I don't feel safe" comment as a buzzword, right. I've actually experienced that. Hey. I was working on I'm a filmmaker, for those that don't know. I was working on a reality pilot, and the director was a woman, and I was one of the producers. And so we're traveling, you know, and we get to Miami, and the motel that they booked was not that great. So we were like, we want to find another one. I called them again. I said, hey, you know, this one's not that great either. And they were like, well, you know what? You're going to have to tough it out. And then the director called. And she said, buzzword, I don't feel safe. The next thing I knew, we were on the Strip in Miami in a 4-star hotel overlooking the beach.
Did you thank her?
Oh, I did. I did appreciate her not, quote unquote, feeling safe. And she's like, I just didn't like the motel. I felt safe. I was fine. You know, it's a bunch of guys working on the crew. I didn't think anything was going to happen. I didn't like the motel. I got on the phone. I called them and said, I don't feel safe. And they put her up in a 4-star hotel. So I've experienced the buzzword, you know, and the misuse and abuse of that, because, you know, ultimately she knew she had the color to lay it out there and make it work. Because when I was calling, they didn't care. It was like, tough it out. But do you
think that was a gender thing? Like, listen, dudes, that stop complaining, grab your nuts and keep pushing. Whereas when a woman is like, whoa, hey, I don't feel safe here. Do you think that was a gender thing or a race thing?
I think it was both.
Okay.
I think it was both. And I answered your question. I think it was both.
Let me just say something. Guys can never say, I don't feel safe here, and anybody actually give them any credit. Like, okay, like seriously, like there's not a situation that we could fathom where we actually give a damn if a guy feels safe. Hey, guess what? Go to war. I don't feel safe. Doesn't matter. Get shot.
Not even in jail. Not even in jail.
Like, there's not a situation in this world that I feel safe or I don't feel safe. A guy could utter and it'd be okay, or be accepted, or they're gonna do something different. Okay, they might tell you, "Well, it's okay. You could do it. It's all right. I believe in you." You know, but nobody gives a damn. Like when a woman says it. When a woman says, "I don't feel safe," that's it. Like that's apps shut down. We are
game over.
We are reevaluating everything from this moment on.
Glenn,
okay?
do you feel safe right now on the panel?
I feel safe everywhere.
I just want to make sure.
I'm the biggest monster there is on the panel, besides Haran. And Coco.
Okay. Coco,
I would say this.
Coco, what do you think when you hear men say, this is great now, don't believe all women. This goes to show that women are liars. Like, what do you feel when you hear that narrative being spun now? Because that's what's being spun online.
It actually kind of makes me nervous because I feel like in this degree, women or men can be a little bit like women, where you give them an inch and they take a mile with it. Because there is a big, huge problem with men actually being mistreated and abused with the modern day women, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen and experienced with other people. And, so now guys are like, yes, it's finally our chance. Now we could just say that all women ain't shit. It's not the dudes anymore. It's all women. They're liars. They're this, they're that. We can't believe anything that they say. So how do we know that the roles are going to go reversed? Where women are now maybe scared, being like, okay, well, crap. Well, what if he did hit me? Or what if he did do something? And then I go to say it and he's like, well, who's going to believe you because of Amber Turd? Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like the men that, in my eyes, in my opinion, are real men will know and tell the signs of when there are signs where you can tell when a woman is actually lying about a story. Like, there is. Like, most women that have been through things do not actually like to relive it. Those that go and brag about it, almost in a way comes about coming across like they're wanting a pity party or they're bragging about it. Typically, it's not the way that they said that it went down. And so I think it could really damage for those women that actually may need to say something, but now they're going to always have that to come back to. And be like, well, remember that one time? So what about this now? Like, how do we know that you're really telling the truth? That's my personal opinion.
So I'm curious, what woman do you think would have had a better chance versus Johnny Depp? Now, Johnny Depp is globally popular. He is cuddly. We love
Cameron Diaz.
Are you talking about the
Julia Roberts?
If it was the same.
Oh, Julia Roberts, they would have threw him under prison for Julia.
Are you saying if it was the same exact case, the same exact facts, everything the same?
The same exact case, the same exact facts.
No one. That's the whole point of this. I really don't think nobody would have won or anything would have been different. If you're looking at the facts, they had to prove malice intent, and there was malice intent proven in this case. If we look at
Glenn, I'm not saying, Glenn, here's my thing. I'm not saying that the decision should not have been the same. I'm saying that there are people where the decision would not have been the same, even though it should have been the same because of the facts of the case. It would not have been the same because of the parties involved.
No,
and we see
what
that.
I'm saying is like that makes it means we are not to judge based on facts and logic and evidence, but we're supposed to. On that case,
No, we
you're saying
should.
no. I know,
No,
but
I
your
said we should, but
argument.
we don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying our argument needs to constantly be based off the facts and the evidence that is presented. And never about an emotional attachment to an individual. It should be, I don't care if it's Joe Blow or Johnny Depp, or if it was Cameron Diaz or the hooker down the street. Like, whatever the case is, the facts have to be the facts and let the facts speak for themselves. And too often we get everybody. Like, because remember when it first came out, everybody was #hate Johnny. Like, Johnny had no love at first. You know what I'm saying? Until he released the video or the audio or where she said she had hit him. And mind you, it's funny when this is what a lot of women do. Not all women. Where's your sign, Jen? Not all. But they will say, like, they will change the wording to mean something different. She said, I didn't deck you. I didn't punch you. I hit you. That's still assault. Women do that. They switch the verbiage to try to make it seem it means something less or more when it's in their favor. And that's where, like, we need to get emotion out of it and look at the facts. If you're basing everything on facts, the court case, no matter who it should have been, what hypothetical it would be, it should have come out the same.
But Glenn, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah,
I mean, not to be disagreeable, but that's exactly what I said. I said it should have come out the same. However, human beings walk in with biases. I have a really good friend who's an attorney. He said every court case, he always tries to settle a case before it goes to court.
Absolutely.
He said you never want to put your financial, he's a corporate lawyer. You never want to put your financial fate in the hands of 12 people too stupid to get out of jury duty. I mean, and that's really, what it boils down to. I mean, they're going to bring in their biases. They're going to bring in I Love Johnny. They're going to bring in, The Pirates of the Caribbean was my favorite movie. I thought they should have cast somebody else in Aquaman. Amber Heard looked totally out of it. I mean, people come in with the most stupid things on their mind.
I was the only one that thought that. I thought she looked awkward in Aquaman. I was
she did look awkward. She was terribly cast.
They should have had a different Aquawoman. Like, she was horrible. Her acting is horrible.
I want to nudge you a little bit, Glenn, because I think what you're saying is sort of like Disney World. Like, we would love a justice system where people walk in and it's like, hey, the truth wins here. No, money wins here. Is the attorney attractive? Wins here. Which movie do I like better? Wins here. And I have to disagree. When this first hit the fan, people were already riding Johnny Depp. He could never, not our Edward Scissorhands, he could never. So I have to agree with this comment from Alpha Omega. The rich have their own justice system. It is true. From when I was a wee little girl, my dad said the best liar in court wins. The truth doesn't matter. The best liar fucking wins. Or the person with the most money with the shiniest lawyer. We've seen it happen over and over again. These cases are tried before they hit the stand. Public opinion.
Well,
so
I think
when that happened,
I think you're missing the fact that because you're missing the fact that Johnny Depp already had a domestic violence case against him back in the early 90s or late 80s, and he lost. Johnny Depp he had a physical altercation with a woman, and that's why he was so adamant that he was not going to get accused for this one that he didn't do. That's not my point. Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no, but what I'm saying is, like, when Amber Heard came out with her story, Johnny Depp already had an account against him that supplied evidence or supplied credit to Amber's case. And that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody was not all Team Johnny right from the beginning. Trust me, like, they were.
That's false, Glenn.
No, that's not false. Like,
that's false, Glenn. I'm telling you that.
I can give you the Twitter username of 10 women, Glenn. I can give you the name right now, 10 women who were Team Johnny right out the gate. #Team Johnny. I can give you their Twitter handles right now. They were right out the gate, Team Johnny.
They were riding for him.
You're talking about fans. I'm talking about the public perception, the overall public perception. If Johnny Depp,
I agree with you on that.
That's what I'm saying. The overall public perception was that he was a woman abuser. Why? Because he already did it once. He already had one account against him that he already paid for, that he admitted to. So now when this other accusation comes out, it's like, oh, well, Johnny Depp's back on the same old bullshit. He's hitting women because we already know that he did it before. That's what I'm saying. Like the public perception
let's
from the beginning was already negative.
Let's take that for a second, Glenn. Now, I just want to say one thing. I just want to, I studied law to a degree. Now, for what you're saying right now, I will say this, Glenn. You would make a good lawyer, not a great lawyer. And there's a difference. there's a difference. I'm going to explain to you what the difference is. Now, okay, yeah, let's just say, let's just put the facts on the table that Johnny Depp previously had a case where he was abusive and he lost this particular case. Okay, but within the space that he was in with Amber Heard, we have to look at some truisms here. Number one, Amber Heard. Number one, she needed to fire her stylist. Yeah, this is real. I'm gonna give you some of the real shit.
What?
She needed to fire her stylist, and she needed to work on being a lot more likable. She wasn't likable.
That's why she lost.
Exactly. She couldn't connect with the jury. She couldn't connect with the jury. She was wearing hues and styles, that just weren't relatable. Her hair was all over the freaking place. She was acting poorly. No, this is real, people. Great lawyers, good lawyers present the facts. Great lawyers play the man. Okay? They play the man. They just happen to be using the facts. They know how to tell the right story. Johnny, when he got on that stand, he had motherfuckers in there laughing. He was chilling.
I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing at some of
the very self-deprecating.
I thought it was terrible. Like if I was on the jury, I would fight him for that.
But Jen, you would have never got on a jury because you're too smart to get put on jury duty.
Jen, he was acting like.
So you're saying she needed a better director?
She had a guy. Johnny was behaving like a guy. We were just two guys having a beer. Hey, Johnny, what happened? Hey, you know what happened? This happened. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an idiot. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, it happens, Johnny. Yada yada. And guess what? His self-deprecating manner. It put people were able to empathize with him, and they put themselves in his shoes. When you can do that with the jury, you got him. You got him.
Yes. I mean, he is the better actor of the
yes. And yes, to your point, Ish, she needed a better director. She needed some better people to say that, hey, sis, But guess what? They didn't tell her that because at the end of the day, she's a white woman. So why would they have to tell her that? I told you, Jen, look, when I saw Disney wasn't too sure if they wanted to go down, pull the trigger on firing him. And when I saw that white women were on his side, I said, yo, I think Johnny is about to win this. Now, here's the thing. Don't think that people don't have inside information on who's about to win a case and so on and so forth. A lot of this shit ain't really confidential. But when I started seeing those things happen, I said to myself, I think Johnny Depp is actually going to win this thing. And if he wins this thing, he's going to get his career back, and that girl's going to be ruined. It's going to be a sight to see.
She's not going to be ruined, though. She'll be back in 2 years. She won't be ruined.
I want to highlight a point, something that she said in her own speech that's really that kind of probably left me really frustrated with. And it was she when she presented her I would say her lost speech, she's saying that she's so upset that like the overwhelming facts that she brought could not sway the jurors or whatever from her husband, whatever. That is a typical line women say when they lose a case versus a man. It's never that the facts actually supported the fact that he lost or he won, that there was defamation. It's always, they just couldn't prove it. They ignored the facts. It's never an absolute win for a man when it's versus a woman in these cases. And if you look at across the board, you know, it's like, oh, they just couldn't prove that he did it, but he did it because she said it. It's never an absolute clearance.
That's not gender specific, Glenn.
That's very gender specific.
Nah, I've heard people say that in court a lot. I can't believe I got convicted with all the facts out. That is not gender specific.
No, but what I'm saying, when I'm saying gender,
court say how could I have lost?
When I say gender specific, I'm saying that no, it's not that nobody's saying that Johnny Depp is vindicated that he didn't abuse her. They're saying that they just couldn't prove that he did. And that's the problem. In the defamation case, it's more like she's saying that he abused her. He's saying he didn't. He provided evidence to show that she was the abuser and that he didn't do it, according to him. And based off the evidence that's presented, nobody's saying, oh, Johnny didn't do anything. He didn't abuse her. They're saying she just couldn't prove that he did. Nobody's did.
Who's the they? That was her.
That's what I'm saying. That's her statement, but that's a similar statement that is said multiple times in similar cases. It's a very
in all cases. I've heard that multiple times.
Can I drop a? I don't want to interrupt you guys. I know you guys are going back and forth.
No.
On appeal, they're going to reduce her the judgment against her to next to nothing. That's that little Easter egg I'm throwing out there. Yeah. You guys can write this down.
No, I read that actually.
Yeah, they already dropped it down to what? One of them to 375,000.
Yeah, the state limit is 300 on punitive damages. No, 300,000 on compensatory damages. It's unlimited on punitive, but they're going to drop that punitive down to something along the lines of 2.5 million, 2 million, and he's not going to appeal her judgment, so it's going to be a wash in the end. She's either going to end up having to pay nothing or nearly nothing. The problem for her is she has to keep paying legal fees. And that's going to be the big thing for her. She's going to have to keep paying her lawyers. But in the end, it'll be a while because, you know, I hate to break things down in simple terms of race. That's just not how I move. Because there's so many other, I always say there's so many other variables. But when it comes to these accusations, these types of accusations, this is one of those times where you can clearly see a difference, see the benefit of being a white woman. You know, a white woman makes an act, and like both of the women on this panel are beautiful women. But you're Costa Rican and Jen is Black and Puerto Rican. You guys are both over-sexualized, and you know you probably had it coming. You were probably in the some party dancing the wrong way or dressed the wrong way, and you know you got that sexy Latin heat. You know that sexy Latin heat that you know you don't even realize what you're doing to men. And you know Jen got it double because she Black. You know, so she just exudes sexuality on top of her sexy Latin heat. So I think we really do have to step back and say, you know, the perspective of an Amber Heard type, a Gwyneth Paltrow type is completely different than a lot of the women who are rah-rah Team Amber, and a Johnny Depp is nothing like the men on this panel are going to get. Because, you know, I mean, Glenn, you know, Glenn, but they'll look at Glenn and they'll be like, Glenn ain't got way too many Black people. Boy, they'll start putting them pictures up. They say that aggression, that Black male aggression is rubbed off on them. You know, you lose your pass. I blame my
stepdad. He's Black.
See, there you go. But I mean, like real talk, like accusing a white man is different than accusing any other man.
Absolutely.
A Black or a Latino woman making an accusation is a lot different than any other type of woman making an accusation. And so we really do. I mean, and this isn't me talking. These are the statistics talking. Like, you can look at the statistics and the conviction rates and how often, more important than conviction rates, how often the cases actually go to court. Charges are actually brought. An investigation goes beyond somebody just taking the initial statement.
Rarely, that's what I tried to say before. Rarely, fucking rarely. All right.
They say don't go to court.
The phrase is missing white girl syndrome. That is why I've seen 55 documentaries on JonBenet Ramsey. Okay, there is a difference. There is a racial difference, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. We can talk about it. It's okay. We can talk about it.
But there's also a difference with black men, and definitely black, and to not much less, but to a lesser degree, Hispanic men. I mean, there's just that assumption that, yeah, he did it. Yeah, he did it. He's an animal anyway. He did it. And even a guy that they like a Denzel or a Morris Chestnut. That's why those guys don't put themselves in certain situations, because they know you're loved until you're not.
Yeah.
You're loved until you're not. And, I hate making conversations all about race, but this is one that the numbers, I'm a numbers guy. And then in this case, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So you have to, and, I saw Scarlett's post just now. And when it comes to sex crimes, I think it's a lot different than, say if somebody's accused of a white collar crime. It's something about sex crimes where you have a group of people, and I can write a dissertation, provide a dissertation on why certain groups are considered more sexualized than others throughout our history, and as a result of our cultural influences. And but we kind of know, we all kind of know. So I think we have to constantly go back to that as we reference this case. I think it's important to keep this case in the perspective of this case, because it doesn't apply to anybody on this panel and very few people in your stream.
I was going to say that in relationship to your point about white tears and when they fail, I think when you know that there's a falsehood attached to it and that you've grown up in that experience of being a Caucasian, in those circumstances, you can see through the lie automatically. Oh, she's doing the white girl cry again, and that's when it fails. And I think this court case is a prime example. It's like, oh, okay, she was I hate to use some of the terminology, but she was just a crazy witch at the end of the day. And I mean, that's the dismissive opinion about her is my point. Just with even some of the actions. But I think even if, like you said, if it was someone different with the same set of circumstances, with the same situations and things that were said, I think that if it was Meg Ryan, I think that it would be a situation where it's like you'd see them clutch their pearls and like, oh, she said that, she did, she must be going through something. Like there might be,
right.
You start making excuses for it. Like, oh my God, he just changed who she really is. Like they just would go into a whole little backstory without any kind of facts to support it. It's just,
See, but similarly, when Johnny Depp is talking about, the mega pints of beer he drinks and his drunk binges and his drugs. I mean,
used to pass.
There wasn't a drug that this man did not take.
Right.
He found it funny to shut up his friend. He gave his friend drugs. Okay. He's banging cabinets and, grabbing cell phones and grabbing Amber Heard violently to grab her cell phone. None of that mattered because he's Jack Sparrow.
Right.
Now, had it been a black man behaving that way, drinking mega pints of beer, where they're all alcoholics. Look how he grabbed that phone from her. She must have been so afraid. Oh my God, he said he'd what? Sleep with her burnt dead corpse? He did all those drugs? Come on, people. Come on, that
would be entertaining with being fulsome right now.
Wouldn't let anyone else slide with that garbage.
Absolutely.
Johnny Depp is filthy. He is a despicable human being. But everybody thought he was cute and funny. It was just another role he was playing on the stand. That's how I saw it. With that said, I still think the case, the outcome of the case was fair and just and correct. If I'm taking out, like Glenn said, all emotion, all feeling, did you defame him and did he lose money because of it? Yes, yes. Therefore, you should be awarded a certain amount of money. Yes, yes, yes. But aside from that, that man is a despicable human being. Okay? If he was not rich, he'd be in a trailer park. He is despicable. If he
wasn't rich, he'd be in jail.
The stuff that he has said about that woman is despicable. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get past, and I'm gonna fuck her burnt dead corpse to make sure she's dead. It's psychotic. It's psychotic, but Edward Scissorhands, it's Johnny Depp. He's cuddly. We like him. But if you heard any other man on the planet say that, and he was not an actor, you dial 911, and you know it. You know it.
I think an unspoken truth that we don't address in the community is that we all have some very mixed ideas about Barack Obama, but the horrid truth is that Barack Obama became president because he's not like any of the men on this panel, nor is he like any of the men that we know. He had to be a very shaven, very, like I tell people all the time, I think they grew him in a bubble. There had to have been some damaging stuff on this guy, man, or the elite made sure that, you know what I mean, it wasn't brought to the table.
The elite made sure it wasn't brought to the table.
You know what I mean? Of course that's what it was. I'm just making a joke, brother. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. We have to say to ourselves, well, I'll tell you my experience and all the experiences of that black men have to deal with. When you're a black man of a particular size, the world does not treat you the same as a black man of a smaller size. In particular, when you even raise your voice. I've been in meetings where, you know what I mean, if it even looks like I'm upset, the temperature of the whole room changes. The entire temperature of the whole room changes. And I have to say to myself, oh my God, let me make sure I don't get all these white people, you know what I mean, up in their feelings. I don't feel like asking, you know, questions, you know what I mean, answering questions to security. I have to, the onus is always on me to make sure that everyone feels safe around me. White man doesn't have to really deal with that.
That's why I was livid when that woman said that.
A white man doesn't have to really deal with that. I'm sure Jabari had to deal with that. I'm sure Aisha has had to deal with that. We always have to deal with that onus of making sure that everyone's calm around us. You know how exhausting that is?
But you know what? I'm going to say this in relationship to that subject or that point is that I think that has to end and that has to cease. And many times that I've gotten to the point where, and I work in an industry, you know, that has a lot of sensitive individuals. So with that, I stopped hiding my identity. I stopped hiding my politics. I actually had experiences where I dealt with a white supremacist and quote unquote seriously white supremacist, not just somebody that watches Fox News, but and he was serving us our food, and he was like, you know, as soon as I ordered something that was just not, you know, steak and potatoes, he was like, oh, you must be one of those left-wing pansies, huh? You know, I was like, whoa. Where are you coming from with that? Oh, I don't mean anything, brother, man. You know, like he just,
oh my God,
he kept going down his lane, and there was a dismissive
the hell out you
about, I said, why
the hell out you?
A guy like this? And the response was, oh, that's just Bill. That's how he is. And so at that point, I made a decision personally that I was no longer going to compromise my personal identity or my thoughts or views or feelings whenever I'm on set. Because at that point, it's like, I'm just going to be me.
Yeah, that's why I refused when she gave me the I don't feel safe. I'm like, I'm not going to not ask you to call me by my name that my mama gave me so you could feel safe.
Right.
There are ways that you gotta subtly let white people know that you ain't really for the bullshit. I remember one time before, I had to simmer down a group of white people who just really needed to know what time it was. And I remember somebody was going out for some coffee, and they asked everybody how they like their coffee. I said, I like my coffee black and bitter, like me. And that whole room, it was communicated to that whole room that where I stand. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's a very delicate play. You got to let them know where it is, because if they don't know where the line is, they'll push it. They'll test it. They'll try to check to see if you timing or not. You know what I mean? So you gotta really let them know, like, this is where it is and this is what it is.
I think it was a lose-lose for Amber. Hi, Tristan, aka Amber Thumbnail. I think it was a lose-lose for Amber because Johnny Depp is so liked and adored, and then she was a total bitch on the stand. I'm like,
look at
girl,
this shit. Look at this shit. Who's gonna believe that?
I root for all a-holes. I root for all a-holes to win.
She looked sweaty. She was dressed like a I don't know, some sort of
like Hillary Clinton,
a Russian orphan owner. It was weird. It was
This woman looks like she did 3 bumps before getting on the stand. Look at her. Look at this woman.
Older. I was like, what is going on? Why does she look like this?
She was advised. Yeah, I mean, honestly, she was advised. There's the marketing now. She was advised to be taken seriously. She needs to dress more I'm telling you, this is what somebody told her. You need to be more conservative. You don't need to look like you put anything out there. You're younger than him. You don't want to come across as a gold digger. You want to be considered more serious. So, be dress more conservative. Keep your hair up in a bun. I mean, I get it was bad advice, but I understand the advice from an image perspective. I get it. Like every day I saw her on the stand, and I said, her image consultants they're not reading the room very well.
Nah.
Because the case was not tried. And it is a cynical approach. But the case wasn't tried in that courtroom. It was tried in the media.
So her director was Quentin Tarantino and not Scorsese.
Yeah. But no, they really made it look really masculine.
She needed Robert Redford. Somebody who had a depth and an understanding and a warmth. You didn't need Scorsese. You needed Redford.
Johnny has so much money, and he's so strategic, and he's so smart. He
had the best team.
He even walked in with an attorney. Amber Heard's attorney looked like her mama, but when you got money, you could play those games. I remember I walked into court one time, my little monochromatic look, my little pink button down and my pink slacks, and my attorney was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going to brunch? Don't dress like this." I was like, "Okay, sorry, my bad." Next time I was like, black slacks, like looking like the DA. He was like, "This is what we're talking about." So the fact that her attorney told her walk in there looking like you own a Russian orphanage is very bizarre.
What?
But like I said, the point was she's much older than him. The attorney, I'm sure the attorney had already heard that tape.
Look at her. Am I lying?
No,
the attorney heard that tape, and the attorney said, "You're younger than him. You're gonna come across as a gold digger if you don't present a certain image of yourself. Present yourself as someone serious. You have to present yourself as a victim." She was not up there. She wasn't trying to appeal to men. She was her presence, her look was to appeal to women on that jury. Now, it was a fail, but it was an attempt to appeal to females and sympathetic men. That's what it was for. Whereas if she was trying to appeal to men, she would have wore brighter red makeup. Her hair would have been dyed a darker red. She would have highlighted her eyes to bring more sympathy.
Right, exactly.
The color she would have wore would have been a softer blue.
Exactly.
Everything was tested. It just was a miscalculation. But everything she and Johnny was the same way. Johnny has image people. They said, look, you can't get around, you can't go downhill. She's accused you of being a woman beater. Your image publicly can't get worse. So don't worry about looking bad. Be likable. Dress casual. Johnny didn't look like a dude who was on trial for his reputation. Johnny looked like he was about to go and play one of his guitars with his friends half the time when he was there. Be likable. Be somebody that they can relate to. Be the guy that women want to fuck.
Right.
Sorry, Jen. I know your channel is monetized, but I mean, if I was advising him, that's exactly what I said. Be the guy that guys want to drink with and women want to sleep with.
Then that's it.
And that's what he did. And that's what he did. He played that role.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the guy that she described, the guy that just wanted to hang out with it, who I honestly believe just, and I didn't see and I think another thing is I didn't see a lot of the case. I read a lot of the transcripts, and I believe reading what she said and then what he said, I believe a lot of the stuff she said about him in terms of his personality. He's kind of an asshole. He's an old dude that's living like an old dude. He's Charlie Sheen off of 2.5 Men. He's the Charlie Sheen character off of 2.5 Men.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, but that's not, it's funny because, I actually watched that show. I like that show. He's likable. He's considered a super likable character, despite being a total narcissistic jerk.
Yes.
He's totally likable.
Jabari, when that came out that she was like, oh, he's just some old guy that sits around with his old rocker friends playing guitar. Everybody was like, I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. I want to be with the guitars. And it's like you wanted to hang with him. And she look at you.
You know who one of his good friends
were?
You know what his good friends were? One of his good friends was Robert Downey Jr., fucking Tony Stark. Now this is the irony of it. I tell people all the time, the brilliance of Robert Downey Jr., and I'm just going to cut to it for just a quick second. The brilliance of that, and there is a guy who came from being drugged out, in jail, whatever. This guy gets a role essentially from Marvel to essentially be himself for 10 to 11 years. Okay? But he was cool. He was likable. He was like, he was supposed to be this whacked out genius, but he was an alcoholic, and you felt you could, have a drink with him. At the end of the day, entertainment always beats the facts. It always beats the facts. I don't care what anyone tells you.
No, I want to say emotionalism beats the facts.
I agree with you.
That's entertainment. I mean, people are being entertained. Their emotions are being pulled in. You know what I mean? And look, I tell people all the time, I've always said juries are bullshit. Okay? The moment I walk into the courtroom, if I look like some chick's ex-boyfriend that she never had a chance to stick it to, I'm fucked. Like, seriously. Like, unless that evidence is impenetrable, you know what I mean? In terms of saying my case, my argument is impenetrable, it's over for me. And these are the things that people have to understand. What's up?
But here's the thing, bro. Even in that situation, and full disclosure, I did do a little jury consulting. Full disclosure. Even in that situation, that girl, that woman, if she still cares, she still wants that guy to apologize. She still wants that guy to make an act of contrition. You can still win even her over. It's all about winning the jury. It's not about winning with the facts of the case. It's about winning the jury. And any the good lawyers, the great trial lawyers, because a great lawyer stays his ass out of court. The great trial lawyer, I'm so serious. Like
the Johnny
bruh,
Cochrans of the world.
Johnny settled 75-85% of his cases.
I'm sure he did. Never
The
go to
great
court.
lawyers
That's what the
stay out of court. Yeah. They stay out of court. But it's about building, it's branding. Jen, you did I was on a panel with Jen and we talked about branding months ago. Like it was last year, I believe, last calendar year. You get on that stand and you create a brand. Yes. It doesn't matter what the prosecutor said. I've seen guys on juries that I personally knew were some of the most terrifying, hardened murderers you'll ever encounter. Those guys got on the stand. They smiled. They didn't try to look hard in the courtroom. They smiled. They were nice. When they were accused of something, they looked troubled by it. They looked genuinely bothered, and they got off. Because it's not about the merits of 95% of the time, it's not about the merits of the case. It's about who's more sympathetic and empathetic to the jury. And what a lawyer does, what a quality lawyer does, is make you sympathetic. He tells the story in a way that makes you more sympathetic. Yeah. But I mean, that's really all it is. That's why if you are, the key is to not get accused. And if you're accused, to cast that shade to someone else that's easier to convict, because you don't want to be in court with 12 people, or even 14 people too dumb to get off of jury duty. And I say that with total respect and love for the jury system in the case that I'm ever in court.
I get off of every jury duty. They don't want me in jury duty.
Yeah, no, I've never served on a real jury.
Every time I get called in,
I've been summoned dozens of times.
Yep. They're like, do you believe in this? Wait a minute, what's this case about? Oh, yeah. Murder's good. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I take the different approach, Glenn. I take a different approach. He deserves death. Sir, he's accused of running a red light. Laws matter. Laws freaking matter. You either take that approach or you don't answer anything. Now, I'll tell you this. This is another thing that not a lot of people know. When you are, if you absolutely don't want to give, if it's a capital murder case, you don't answer anything. You just don't answer any question and you'll automatically get excused. Because in a capital murder case or in a case that involves criminal misconduct of a corporation, don't answer any questions. Because those lawyers, once you get to that level, those lawyers feel like they can move anybody. What they don't want is somebody that they don't know on the jury. So if you're involved in a case where it's millions of dollars involved or billions of dollars involved and you don't want to be on that jury, or if you're on a capital case, capital like a murder case or a hate crime case, say nothing. Say absolutely nothing. Give yes and no vague answers. They'll kick you behind off the jury faster than you can say lunch.
I usually say I'm an anarchist and I don't believe in the judicial system.
That's not enough.
I'm usually showing the door, though. Most of the time, I'm showing the door, though. You know what I mean? So unless I got to switch that up, but the time that I've been asked, they let me go.
So I want to go back to something you said, Jabari, because we're getting near the end here. I think I like what you said earlier, where I think we all have to be aware this case is a win for Johnny Depp and Johnny Depp alone. It is not a win for men who have been falsely accused. It is not going to be a win for men who are going to be falsely accused in the future. It is not a win for women being believed or not believed. Like, this case really has absolutely zero to do with us. It was entertainment. I felt like I was watching another Johnny Depp movie, but I don't think that people should run with it. Like Coco said, like, you give an inch. This is not the case to run with, fellas. It had absolutely nothing to do with you. You ain't got Depp money. You ain't got Depp charm. You ain't got Depp style. Nope. Respectfully, I'm saying respectfully, So I don't want people to go out there with this false sense of like, you see, it finally worked. This is not that is not this. And I don't want, it's going to happen anyway, but I don't want men to think like, oh, you see, women lie, because that makes it dangerous for Coco and I out in the world. Because no, it's not just women lie, right? Amber Heard lied. And I think that we have to, just like you guys don't like when we say all men are dogs, right? Because all of you are not dogs, a few of you, some, couple, but you know, it's the same thing, except that when there's a general idea about women, it's more dangerous for us out here than women thinking all men are dogs. It is more dangerous for people to make blanket statements about women, okay, than it is to make blanket statements about men. I am standing on that. I am concrete on that.
I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree.
I will reserve my vote.
Glenn thinks he's equal to a woman. You got.
He's part of the He-Man woman haters club.
Glenn got a pink pussy hat. I know you do, Glenn.
No. Here's my thing. It's what.
I know you don't think that the world is more dangerous. Just in general, no Johnny Depp case. You don't think that the world is more dangerous for women than it is for men?
No, I'm not saying that. I agree that it is. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is that you got to understand that. Remember, she was the poster woman for the ACLU when it came to Me Too.
She was.
All right. So that's where I'm saying no. Like, women lie, men lie. Okay. There's not a woman on this panel or a woman on this earth that has not lied. Okay. Everybody lies.
You will not disrespect Oprah. You will not disrespect Oprah.
Lies.
Oprah lied on Michael Jackson.
Nope.
Hell yeah.
Nope. Prove it.
No, she didn't lie on Michael Jackson.
Oprah lies.
Oprah lies.
She do whatever she wants. Like she
Let me tell you something. Oprah
you will
pointed
not
at me.
disrespect Oprah.
Oprah pointed at me. She said, "You
Fat
get a
Oprah
car.
or skinny
You
Oprah?
get a car. You get a car. I never got a car."
Billionaire Oprah. I don't care about her size. She got
that could be either one. Billionaire Oprah was Fat Oprah and Skinny Oprah.
What I'm saying,
I'll take the money, Oprah.
At the end of the day, everybody lies. Everybody is capable of lying, and everybody will lie if it suits their best interest. That's the end of the day. That's the story. Okay, that's reality, people. Yep. That don't. It's women are not absolved from lying. No, they lie. Okay, men lie. Everybody lies. Just let the facts prove who's telling the truth. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. And get your emotions out of it.
I agree. Every case needs to be taken on its own merits.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I like trust but verify. I just don't like the blanket statements about women, because again, it is more dangerous for us when those statements are made, as you know, especially in these spaces. And men do run with it because they got that little trauma poking at them from their exes or their mamas or their aunties or that teacher that slapped them in the face one time. And then they run with it. And it makes it dangerous for women. And if you don't care about the women on the panel, remember that you also have women in your lives coming up, whether it's daughters, nieces, moms, sisters, you have women in your life that you care about. So you have to keep that in mind when you're out there painting that with that broad brush about what women are and aren't. That is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Jabari, just really curious because we got to get out of here. How did Oprah lie on Michael Jackson? I'm just curious. What did she say that was a lie about him?
The issue that I had with her is when she was a friend of his when he was alive, but when he died, she entertained every single negative suggestion about him. She was Team Michael until Mike wasn't there to benefit her anymore. And I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
So I said want. So basically, She
She's a
chose
merc.
is being a journalist first. Because I'm
Can
sure
you
she
leave
was
my
a
future
journalist
ex-wife out of this,
before she
please?
met Michael. She was a journalist before she met Michael.
Listen,
Right?
y'all not gonna ruin my half of that estate, okay? Do not talk
I'm
about my
like,
wife
what
Oprah, all right? I need my half, okay? I need Stedman out the way.
I'm letting y'all know now. Coco, Haran, Glenn, Tristan, brother Ish, Jabari. I don't care how famous y'all get. This is
Everyone run. She's about to
if
start
y'all
shooting
mess
up.
up, I'm gonna talk about it. I love you all, but if y'all mess up, I'm gonna make it on the block with Jenna. Be like, let me tell you what Coco did. Let me tell you what Glenn Lawrence did. Let me tell you what Jabari did. It is what we do. Okay, nothing personal.
Again, that's fine. My only thing is, if you give like the Harvey Weinstein, like, I'm sorry, you give people the benefit. If you give the person the benefit of the doubt when they're alive, you give them the benefit of the doubt when they're dead. I think she came off. It wasn't so much that she came across as unloyal to Mike. It was more a question of she came across as a merc to me.
A what?
She came across as a merc. I mean,
a what?
Mercenary.
A mercenary.
You know.
I think it's because I had this. You know why I asked you that, Jabbar? Because I had this conversation with another guy online recently. He was like, "You disrespected Michael Jackson." I said, "No, I just deal with facts." Like Glenn said, he did rotate little white boys over decades in his bed. That is a fact. That is not emotion. That is not rumor. It came out of his mouth. It came out of a white boy's mouth. Now, with that said, did he stick a finger in their ass? I don't know. Did he molest them? I don't know. But we all know he rotated little white boys till they got too old to be in that bed, and then he got a new one. And then he got a new one.
Agreed to it.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Again, I'm not disagreeing with that. For me, it's not about it's less about I'm big on being genuine, being loyal, and being honest. And I just like Oprah doesn't give off any of those vibes to me. So I'm not a big Oprah fan like a lot of people.
If she was his wife, his mama, his sister, I get it. But a journalist who talks about
she's not a journalist, but okay.
She's not in the media. She's not the biggest woman in media.
No, she's absolutely in media. She's 100% in media. But being in media don't make you a journalist.
No,
she's tomato. She's known for bringing stories to the world. Tomato.
She's an opinion piece now.
Right.
She's just like everybody else on the news. The news don't even bring the news anymore. It's all opinions. Like,
well, yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, her job was. We can all agree on her job was talking about people. That was her job. Now, whether you want to make her an official journalist, that was her job.
She can do whatever she wants. Okay, leave my woman out of this.
Question. You know, in today's climate, in 2022, can a black pop star in this day and age, in cancel culture, can a black pop star get away with today rotating minors in his bed?
Hell no.
Thank you. We let that shit slide, but it was despicable and disgusting.
I got a question. This is a weird question. It's probably gonna piss some people off.
I'll let you ask your question, Glenn, and then we'll all get out of here.
All right. So
on the way.
Like Harvey Weinstein did some things like, like if you wanted a role, you had to know your role, right? And that's the first time you get introduced to him. You're like, "Hi, I want this role." He's like, "Okay, on your knees."
Maybe get a massage.
Yeah. All right. So the second time you go over there and you want a role, is it really sexual harassment, or you just already know what's going on? I'm just kidding.
I gotta go. I got to go. I'm not getting canceled today.
I'm kidding. But no, the fact is, like, if you know that's how he played it, and that was the thing, I'm totally against it. I'm just saying this should have came out from the beginning. But the girls that went back 4 or 5 times for different movies and they participated in that.
But then you're ignoring power.
No, I'm not ignoring it. I'm just saying, like, if it was bad, it should have been spoken up.
No, you know what the problem I have with the Weinstein? women did come out.
Recognizing their power.
Women did come out, though. Women came out. Rose McGowan came out 10 years before Me Too. And and a lot of these same women that were making accusations called her a liar.
Yep. No, but like what I'm getting at is like he abused power. He abused his position. And I totally think that he's
a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like I'm glad that he's locked up. What I'm saying is, like, as you were saying, those same women that end up coming out afterwards called her a liar. Why? Because they were still benefiting from him. And it was and it wasn't deemed bad until he didn't have power.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like, so the first time he made y'all do it was bad, but it wasn't bad enough to complain about on the serious level to shut him down.
That's loaded, but Glenn, that's loaded.
Yeah, but who you gonna complain to?
That's loaded, and you're going into a territory you know nothing about. You are not a woman. You're not alone in a room with a man who you feel, if I don't deal with this person, I'm not going to have a career. You don't know what was going on in that room. I don't want to go down that lane or down that road. There's manipulation at play. There are threats at play. There's you'll never work in this town again. There are a lot of layers to that. It's not just as simple as, oh, he touched my boob, let me go run out and tell people. That's not how sexual harassment, manipulation, and grooming works. There are a lot of layers to that. That is why I say don't make blanket statements about women, because that story you're saying right there, well, why didn't, again, you're exhibiting what we go through. Well, why didn't you say anything the first time? We don't know what was going on.
So calling another woman a liar that did come forward. There's no excuse for her.
Look, I don't think we're really being genuine about what the situation is. Like, look, listen, let's just call it what it is. I tell people all the time, and I've seen this 100 times because I've dealt in the entertainment industry. Look, the devil can be in charge just as long as everybody gets a slice of heaven. That is the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to pay attention to. Like, look, listen, Harvey Weinstein was allowed to move the way he was allowed to move because folks was making money. Let's just call it what it is. He was useful at the time. You know what I mean? It was in the best interest of a number of people for him to keep going. Once he outgrew his usefulness, then it was okay to entertain a lot of the ideas, a lot of the accusations, and a lot of the things that a lot of women were saying because they needed to get him up out of there quick, fast, and hurry. I saw the same thing happen to R. Kelly, okay? A lot of people want to make it a race issue with R. Kelly. You know, R. Kelly was allowed to move for 20 years. He was allowed to move the way he was moving for 20 years, okay? You know, I knew people at job and so on and so forth who were burying stories about this guy. Mm-hmm. It's a lot worse than what people even know. There's a collection. I mean, there's a library of tapes. There's a library of this stuff. This guy had a fetish, okay? But this dude, for what it is, and I'll say it for what it is. This dude was making people millions of dollars. And I take nothing away from his musical ability and so on and so forth. But what he did, he deserved to go to jail. But he was not allowed to go to jail. He all these cases and all these situations, you know, he's in jail. He's in jail all of a sudden. All these things were allowed to move. Why? Because R. Kelly is no longer profitable.
He should be castrated, not jail. He should have been castrated and had his hands cut off like they do in them other countries. That's what should happen, R. Kelly. All right, guys. With that said, on that note, I want to thank you immensely for joining me tonight. Coco, thank you so much. Please come back, beautiful lady. I appreciate you being here. You don't understand. You broke up.
She be looking for women hard, man. She be looking for women hard.
For real. I'm like, you broke up this testosterone for me today. Not that I can't handle these guys, but it's nice to see another lady on the panel. So please come back. Feel free, whatever subject you'd like to tackle. I am here for it. Gentlemen, I love you to bits and pieces. I don't think we need any parting words because my pizza is on the way and I don't want to miss my Pizza Hut guy. So Tristan, I love you all. I'll see you again. Don't forget to keep hitting me with those topics that you want me to cover. Jabari, I want to get into that Michael Jackson thing another time. Tristan,
Yeah.
get us out of here so I can go get my pizza.
All right, I know a threat when I hear one. Class dismissed.
Good night, guys.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right, chat. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you was hanging with the homie. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, On the Block with Jen, TikTok, On the Block with Jen. And if you have an idea for me, On the Block with Jen at Gmail. All right, guys. Love you all. Stay safe out there. Have an amazing weekend. And I will see you soon. Bye, Rochelle. Bye. Bye, Faith. Bye, Reese. Reese, you didn't come up today. Bye, Scarlett. Bye, Black Rose. That's a nice name, Black Rose. All right, guys. And I'm out.